It has been made abundantly clear to me that UVA Athletics does not want to say anything publicly, privately, or otherwise regarding the finding of misconduct against Associate Head Swim Coach Gary Taylor. I reached out directly to Carla Williams, the athletics director, and to Todd DeSorbo, the head swim coach, on Monday of this week to make a suggestion, as I put it in the email, regarding how the Taylor matter should be handled. Here's what I wrote. UVA Athletics and UVA Swimming need to show contrition in this case. It would only make sense for Ms. Williams to issue a statement noting that UVA Athletics is aware of the issues with Gary Taylor, note that he has received some sort of training, retraining, counseling, whatever is the case, to help him deal with the issues that led to his 2-year probation, and have Gary make some sort of statement of that same effect. Pretending that nothing happened and hoping the story will just go away is not the UVA way. It appears that I was wrong in thinking that. Now, let me recap for those who, are new to the story, perhaps. I've been writing about this for like the last month. Gary Taylor was hired in May 2024 to his job in the UVA swimming program and who was hired in 2024 to the UVA swimming program, who was placed on 2-year probation by the U.S. Center for Safe Sport after admitting to emotional misconduct involving athletes that he had coached at NC State, Auburn, and at Cavalier Aquatics, which is the competitive swim team at the Piedmont Family YMCA in Charlottesville. Taylor had worked as an assistant coach alongside Todd DeSorbo at NC State before he took the head coach job at Auburn in 2018. Todd DeSorbo came to UVA as the head coach in 2017. Taylor was the head coach at Auburn for 3 years before what was described as a mutual parting of ways in the spring of 2021. 4 months later, Taylor was hired as the head coach of the Cav Aquatics program with the endorsement of DeSorbo, his friend. The Piedmont Family YMCA has acknowledged that 3 formal complaints alleging emotional misconduct were lodged against Taylor in the fall and winter of 2021, so just in his first 4 months on the job. And the Safe Sport finding included 2 additional complaints from swimmers at the Cav Aquatics program in 2022. In Taylor's first full year on the job at Cav Aquatics, half the swimmers in the swim program that he took over had quit. So 31 of the 62 swimmers had quit in the first year. And parents alleged to me, and they backed up their allegations with copies of the correspondence, that the staff, administration, and board of directors at the YMCA routinely dismissed their complaints as lacking legitimacy. I have documentation that Carla Williams was made aware of the ongoing investigation by Safe Sport into Taylor a day after he was hired as the associate head coach for UVA Swimming. And Safe Sport policy would be to communicate that notice of decision that gave him the 2-year probation in March to his boss, who would be Todd DeSorbo. So they can't claim deniability. There's no plausible deniability. I tell you all of that to now share with you the statement that was provided to me by a UVA athletics spokesperson this week as a response to my suggested course of action, which was again, make amends. That's all. Here's the comment from UVA Athletics. We are committed to providing a safe and supportive environment where all of our student athletes can thrive. Any form of abuse or harmful behavior is taken very seriously and will not be tolerated. Per UVA policy, we are unable to comment on specific matters involving student athletes or personnel. I want you to notice a couple of things here. One, there was no acknowledgement of any kind that this statement involves a coach in the employ of UVA Athletics who is serving a probation for emotional misconduct of athletes at 2 of his prior college jobs and a job where he was coaching minors in a youth swim program. I have noted that this investigation and the allegations against him was ongoing at the time he was hired. So, a question from me, and this is a rhetorical question. Nobody's going to answer this question, unfortunately. Did UVA Athletics just not do its due diligence in examining Taylor's work history before hiring him? Now, I know not to even try to file a Freedom of Information Act request on this because the UVA FOIA office would be able to cite the personnel exemption to hide any internal communications there, and I know they would do that right away. Either way, UVA Athletics did not do its due diligence during the hiring process, or it did, one or the other, and decided that it was okay to hire a guy with a cloud of misconduct over his head. Not a good look. Two, the comment again, I'll rephrase here, restate here. We are unable to comment on specific matters involving student athletes or personnel. That's what UVA said. The University of Virginia community, current students, alums, fans, donors, should not accept this attempt to try to claim UVA Athletics is unable to acknowledge admitted misconduct by a staff member because of an unspecified internal policy. This approach means this story ends with UVA Athletics appearing to sweep the emotional abuse inflicted upon countless young swimmers under the rug in the hope that this story will just go away. And we can all get back to the story of UVA swimming being, hey, how about those five straight national championships? I went out of my way to give Carla Williams and Todd DeSorbo PR advice, which is not my job as a journalist. But seriously, nobody is saying here, I'm not saying here, fire the guy. Not saying that. He's serving probation. He went through a process. Um, so good. The adjudication is in. Nobody said to fire the guy. I'm not saying fire the guy, but you can just acknowledge that he was in the wrong and that he's taking, and maybe even say that he's taking this whole experience as a wake-up call. He's working to be a better coach, a better mentor, a better person. That's all I'm suggesting here, and that's all a lot of people who write to me about this on a regular basis are suggesting. We're not asking for heavy lifting. We're not asking for anybody to be fired, just asking for acknowledgement and an attempt to make amends. Leaving this story at sorry, but we can't make amends because of policy, to me, it casts a pall on UVA swimming and its accomplishments. That's all I can say. Five straight national championships, and they're throwing it all away for this. And I don't know that I feel any differently about UVA athletics going forward. I mean, I'm thinking of the line here again that I offered to Carla Williams and Todd DeSorbo about pretending that nothing happened and hoping the story just goes away is not the UVA way. Now we know for sure that it is. And I got a suggested new motto for UVA, which does not have an official motto. Caeso nihil hic vendendum disperge. Uh, Latin. Translate from the Latin, please disperse. There's nothing to see here.